pullback trade, right? And every trade is executed the same way. You need a 15-minute moon to basically solidify a trade. You need a 15-minute trend to take a trade, right? And now you put parts into that, right? The first part is the pullback, which is a bounce. So the first pullback happens with a 15-minute red moon, right? You'd always like to see every trade bounces, makes a bounce, and then it goes into the next move. Now, the way to explain this is, or to understand what this is that when it pulls back because of the 15-minute moon, if it pulls back shorter and then starts to run from there, then that's simply a rebuy on a 15-minute green moon, meaning that this moon came down, the green moon came in, and you bought here and you went on your move up, right? When it doesn't become a green moon and it simply becomes a move to the upside, a bounce, and then it starts to go away from becoming a 15-minute green moon, which would have been the trade you were waiting for, which would be an entry into the momentum, then you could assume at that moment you have now entered the opportunity of the opposite of that, which would be a move to the downside. Because you have a 15-minute moon, you have a 15-minute retest, and now the 15-minute trend signals an entry into a short. All right. Now this short here plays out to be about 3 to 4%, right? So that is how you can take an entry after a long pump, right? Is we're always going to play the 15-minute moon for a pullback, then a retest or a retest, and then a run. But if that run rejects, right, you can see right here, look how far away the 15-minute is from making a moon. See the difference right there? See how far that is?
Mhm.
That means weakness, right? So once I see that weakness and then the 15-minute RSI starts to bend down as well, not to mention at this current moment, right? This is kind of like the beginning. Here's your, I'm going to mark these. These are the two moments that we had a 15-minute red moon and a 15-minute RSI rejection, right? Go to your 1 hour, right? And when you're trading, right, what's one of the biggest things that we do? We do not trade against the 1 hour. What did the 1 hour do right there?
Going down.
Now you see how it crossed?
Mm-hmm.
So at that moment when it registered here, which would have registered here for me, that would have let me know at that moment that there's a short happening here, or a pullback, or just a weak trade. So no matter what, my long is over right there, right? Now the only really trade that I can do here is a stronger, so it's more inclined to go down than it is up, because you're going against the 1 hour. So since the 1 hour is against you and it's a higher time frame than your lower time frames, it means it dictates more of the move, right? So that means the little moves, the 3, the 5, the 15, can bounce 3 to 4 times inside of a 1 hour move down, but it doesn't mean they're going to be that strong. So once this 1 hour starts its move down, my instinct is to find a pullback, a bounce, and then an entry into a short. All right? Because my 1 hour is going down. Now, to piece together how weak it is, how much of a possibility it is for me to catch a good short, I have basically confirmation, right? There's a 1 hour red moon here. A short is what? 1 hour moon, right? 1 hour red moon, 1 hour RSI headed down. That's the confirmation for the 15-minute short, right? So now that all that's confirming for me, I can see that this is a very weak trade at this moment, which means it's probably going to be a bigger pullback. But going back to the original, what's up, Big V? Sean, what up, man? Aren't you at work, big dog? So what happens here is, since I know it's getting weaker, right? Now I can assume the position of 15-minute moon, 15-minute retest, 15-minute bounce, no green moon, solid rejection, right? Here's my entry.
You don't wait for the negative volume. Just go on.
Look at your 15. Is that not negative volume?
Yeah. I mean the starting point. You start earlier, a bit earlier, but
no, you can. So here, you wait for the bounce. Your bounce would be here, right? And at that time, you see the volume push up. There's the retest, but you see how the volume's not really touching here, right? So I'm going to mark this off here. This is the point where the 15-minute gets weak, right? Right there, it starts to head down. It doesn't even come close to creating a green moon, right? So now let's slide down to the lower time frame, right? First, we start with the 1 minute here, right? Or 3 minute. Notice here, your 3 minute is coming off of low volume here. See, this is the first time it triggers a short. What happens to your 3 minute? All right, so there's your 3 minute moon or your 1 hour moon, your trends, everything's changing right there. 15-minute moon. Now you can look at your 3 minute and notice how the volume is weak there, right? So now it goes through its cycle. It tries to break up here and then it fails again. It goes right into a red moon, right? So if we're going to enter a short, what's the short entry? 3 minute moon, 3 minute trend, negative volume, see? So now that you see the 3 minute red moon, 3 minute red trend, negative volume, the only thing you need is confirmation on the next trade, which is the 15-minute. So now let's work through the process, right? So in order to get a short to happen, right? Now that I've already know that I have a 1 hour RSI headed down. I have a 1 hour red moon, right? I have a 15-minute scenario happening, right? Now that I see all that happening, right? The 1 hour crossing of the RSI, the 1 hour red moon, right? Now I work myself into a trade, man. So now all I have to do is verify a trade, right? The trade that I want is a 3 minute red moon, 3 minute trend, negative volume. I look, right? And I'm already, it depends on wherever I look here, I have that already, right? I see my red moon, that's already in there. All I would do is want this to go through its retest, right? Which kind of happens here. So when that 15-minute bounces and it does its retest, and I'm witnessing on this retest that it doesn't get a green moon and it's starting to get weak here. When it's making its retest to the top, I'm looking at the 3 minute here and I'm realizing the 3 minute volume is getting weak here, right? So now when the 3 minute breaks through and I'm watching it and it's going along, then I see it become a red moon, right? And a trend. That's going to trigger me to go, oh, this is real weak. Now I slide to my 15-minute, right? Let me slide this. Now I'll mark that real quick for you so you kind of like, right at this moment here, that would trigger me to go look at my 15. If I'm not already looking at it, I should already be looking at it, right? So now I know that over here, I already have my 15-minute moon. Now I had my pullback. And all I need to confirm the trade I'm waiting for is confirmation. I'm expecting a 15-minute pullback. I'm expecting a bounce. I get that. I'm expecting a green moon to go long. I don't get that. Then I realize that at that point, my volume is starting to get weak, right? Because now at this moment, I'm moving up, but I can see right here that the volume doesn't turn into a green moon. So what do? I jump over to my 3 minute to see what's going on. The 3 minute confirms there's negative volume. Then the 3 minute confirms there's a red moon, red trend, right? So once that happens on this candle, the only thing I need is basically I should already have it set. I should have an alert set, right? This is why setting the alerts on the trends will help you from like missing these moments. If I'm getting this pullback on my 15-minute red moon, the only other thing I need to go short is a 15-minute red trend. So I should set the alert immediately. Now that I'm watching my 15-minute go down, I see the 1 hour has a red moon. That's going to double confirm the fact that this is probably getting weak. Because not only do I have a 15 red moon, I have a 1 hour red moon, which means it's even weaker than it looks. So now when I see the bounce happen, I should have an alert already set on my 15-minute red trend because I'm expecting it to continue down, right? Or I want protection of that. Once I notice that I don't get the green volume to hit a green moon here, now I know I'm really weak. The push goes up, it starts to show weakness, starts to bend down. I go to my 3-minute to collaborate the volume issue. On the 3-minute, I notice that I don't have any volume at that time. It's kind of fighting it. But like earlier I said, the very first thing I do is I always check the 5-minute to concur to see like what exactly is happening at that moment. So when I look at my 5-minute, I can see here that I'm above the positive. I'm heading down. This would be the moment that I would wait for it when it did that bounce. It starts to bounce here, but then at that time I have a 3-minute red moon and a red trend come in. So when this bounces up, starts to head down here, this is where I get a 15-minute red trend. And at that point, I got to go with my 3 and my 15-minute. I got to take my 15-minute red trend, right? What happens here is on the 15-minute trend, when it comes in, we also get a 5-minute trend. So either way, when that all happens, you would have caught a 5-minute red moon and a 5-minute red trend with a 3-minute plus a 15-minute red moon plus a 15-minute red trend. So that's probably the easiest short you really like see. So the worst case scenario, and you get in somewhere down here, which is right about here, and that's pretty much it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you see how the value all went away? You don't need
this is a nice example when you have 30 minutes a green trend becoming
remember
the other way around.
Yeah, remember the reason why we have a 30-minute green trend is because longs are harder to get than downs. We don't need the 30-minute red trend on a short. It's just confirmation of a continued short. What you need is on a short, you need the same thing, 15-minute moon, 15-minute red trend. Confirmation is the 1-hour red moon. Because the 1-hour red moon is bigger than the 30-minute. Right? And your RSI is heading down. So just on the checklist, you're in the position of a short because the 30, the 15, the 1 hour, and the 30 are all heading down on the RSIs. Plus you have 15-minute moons. Then you get a red moon, right? That's a lot of confirmation to the downside, right? So I think sometimes when we cover a trade, it might have a lot of information there. Really, the only thing that matters is 15-minute red moon. Confirmation would be a 1-hour red moon for volume purposes. The 15-minute trend, right, that pops in. Now, once it pops in, how far it's going to pull down is based on the confirmation. So if you get a 15-minute moon, 15-minute red trend, which is an intro to a trade, the confirmations would be this: a 1-hour red moon, the 1-hour RSI heading down, the 5-minute volume and the 3-minute volume not holding its zero line. So steps: 15-minute red moon. What is it going to become? Is it going to become a green moon again and go back on a run? Or is it going to work its way into a 15-minute red trend, which is a trade? Now the trade has confirmation. What are the confirmations? Zero volume on the 3-minute, 30-minute red trend, 1-hour red moon. Those are the 3 confirmations of that trade. And you can see all those happening by watching the 3-minute volume and the 5-minute volume. The confirmations are just clarifying what you're looking at. So if you're looking at the volume and then all of a sudden a 15-minute red trend hits, now you know you're getting weak. Then all of a sudden the 1-hour red moon hits, now you know you're in a trade. Or the 30-minute red trend hits, now you know you're in a trade. But normally the red moon will come before the 30-minute red trend. It's kind of like it's the weight that pulls the 30-minute red trend down. But that's how you work that trade over systematically.